The story begins high above the ocean as a group of young men and women travel aboard a private plane on what should have been a routine flight from Los Angeles to New York. Everything seems normal until dark clouds gather across the horizon and a violent storm suddenly engulfs the aircraft. The turbulence becomes unbearable. Alarms begin screaming through the cockpit, and the terrified pilot realizes he is losing control. With every second, the situation grows worse. Unable to stabilize the plane and seeing no safe route ahead, he makes a desperate decision to attempt an emergency landing on the ocean. But the moment the aircraft crashes into the water, the immense force tears it apart like paper. Metal shreds through the waves, debris scatters in every direction, and the pilot loses his life in the disaster. Fighting through fear and chaos, the surviving passengers struggle out of the wreckage and swim desperately toward the nearest land. Exhausted and traumatized, they finally reach a remote island surrounded by endless water. As they stand on the deserted shore, staring at the empty horizon, the horrifying truth begins to sink in. They are completely alone. As panic slowly gives way to survival instincts, the stranded group begins searching for a way off the island. Some cling to hope that rescue will arrive soon, while others fear they may never leave. Johnny suggests that instead of waiting helplessly on the beach, they should explore deeper into the island and search for anything useful. The group agrees and ventures into the wilderness. Soon they gather wood and build a large signal fire, hoping that smoke rising into the sky will attract attention from passing ships or aircraft. Meanwhile, the girls search for fruit among the trees to satisfy their growing hunger. While exploring farther inland, Sam discovers something unexpected hidden among the vegetation: a lonely cabin. Curious and cautious, he enters the structure and is quickly joined by Bablu. Inside, they uncover a hidden passage leading to a concealed storage area stocked with food and supplies. For the first time since the crash, hope begins to return. That night, everyone gathers inside the cabin, sharing the food they found. Then suddenly the sound of a helicopter echoes across the sky. The survivors rush outside screaming for help, but despite their desperate efforts, the helicopter disappears into the distance, leaving them stranded once again. Morning arrives with renewed determination. While wandering near the shoreline, Sam discovers a mysterious bag washed up from the ocean. Inside, he finds a swimsuit and, more importantly, a nail gun that could potentially serve as a weapon. Not long afterward, a ship appears near the island. Sam notices it first and quietly watches from a distance without alerting anyone. Moments later, Bablu spots the vessel too and immediately begins shouting for help. The captain aboard the ship waves back, appearing friendly and eager to assist. Excitement sweeps through the group as they believe rescue has finally arrived. Messages spread quickly across the island, and everyone rushes toward the shore. The ship's captain and one companion approach the beach in a smaller boat and warmly welcome the survivors aboard their vessel. Relief floods through the stranded passengers as they step onto the ship, convinced their nightmare is finally ending. However, Sam remains suspicious and continues observing from a distance. Something about the situation feels wrong, and his instincts warn him that danger may still be lurking just beneath the surface. The mood aboard the ship changes dramatically once everyone is safely inside. The smiling captain and his companions suddenly draw their guns and reveal their true intentions. The survivors are no longer guests, they are prisoners. The men openly admit that they are ruthless pirates who care nothing about helping anyone. Their plan is simple: keep the women for themselves and dispose of the rest. Fear instantly spreads through the group as the reality of the trap becomes clear. The pirates begin discussing how they will divide the captives and wait for their boss to arrive. As their behavior grows increasingly threatening, some of the survivors attempt to resist. Munshi bravely stands up to defend his friends, but he is quickly overpowered, dragged away, and tied up in a corner. With no one left to stop them, the pirates begin targeting one of the girls. The atmosphere aboard the ship becomes terrifying as everyone realizes that rescue has transformed into an even greater nightmare. Meanwhile, far away on the island, Sam prepares to make his move. Just as the pirates are about to carry out their plans, a window suddenly shatters. In a dramatic entrance, Sam bursts into the ship and immediately fires his nail gun. One pirate drops instantly as chaos erupts throughout the cabin. The captain reacts quickly and opens fire, forcing Sam to dodge bullets while fighting through the narrow corridors. During the struggle, flames begin spreading through the ship, turning the entire vessel into a floating death trap. Refusing to retreat, Sam manages to overpower the captain and knock him unconscious before rushing to free Munshi. Together they storm into the cabin where the others are being held and successfully rescue everyone. With the ship rapidly burning, the survivors escape and return to the island. Moments later, a massive explosion tears through the vessel. Fire and debris shoot into the sky as the captain and his partner perish in the blast. Though the group has survived yet another deadly encounter, they remain trapped on the island with no guarantee that future visitors will be any safer than the last. The next morning begins quietly, offering a brief moment of peace after the previous day's horrors. Some members of the group try to relax while others remain alert for danger. Suddenly, another vessel appears near the island. This time Sam is far more cautious. He immediately warns everyone not to trust strangers so easily, explaining that greed and desire can transform ordinary people into monsters. His words resonate deeply after what they experienced with the pirates. Determined not to repeat the same mistake, Sam and Johnny sneak toward the shoreline to observe the newcomers before revealing themselves. Hidden behind bushes, they carefully watch as 3 armed men disembark from the ship and begin exploring the island. Unlike the previous pirates, these men appear even more dangerous. Their weapons, confidence, and methodical movements suggest they are searching for something or someone. Sam realizes that another confrontation may be unavoidable and decides to act before the newcomers discover the rest of the survivors. As the armed men move deeper into the island, Sam hands his nail gun to Johnny and instructs him to stay hidden while he warns the others. However, Johnny soon abandons his position and begins moving through the jungle. His sudden movement attracts attention, and one of the armed men immediately opens fire. Bullets tear through the trees as Johnny narrowly escapes. The gunfire echoes across the island, sending waves of panic through the survivors. The leader of the newcomers is revealed to be Jagan Jarila, the ruthless boss of the pirates who died earlier. He has arrived searching for his missing men and intends to claim the island's stranded women for himself. Realizing the severity of the threat, Sam gathers the group and proposes a bold plan. He and Johnny will attempt to capture the armed men and steal their ship, while the others hide until the opportunity arises. Bablu admits he has some experience operating aircraft and believes he might be able to fly the vessel if they can seize control of it. The dangerous plan quickly begins to unravel. While moving through the jungle, Sam suddenly finds himself surrounded by Jagand and one of his armed followers. He tries to escape, but a gunshot strikes his leg, bringing him crashing to the ground. His painful scream echoes through the island and reaches his worried friends. Jagand captures Sam and forces him toward the cabin, intending to use him as leverage. Hidden nearby, Munshi watches everything unfold. As Sam is dragged through the secret passage inside the cabin, one of the captors becomes distracted by the hidden entrance. In that instant, Munshi launches a surprise attack, striking the man and knocking him unconscious. Wasting no time, Munshi frees Sam and grabs the enemy's weapon. Together they escape into the jungle, hoping to regroup with the others before Jagand discovers what happened. The island is now a battlefield, and every survivor knows that the final confrontation is approaching. While Sam and Munshi flee through the forest, the rest of the group races toward the shoreline. Their goal is simple: reach the ship before Jagand and escape the island forever. Bablu volunteers for the most dangerous task. He dives into the water and swims toward the vessel, knowing an armed guard still remains aboard. Using courage and surprise, he attacks the guard and knocks him into the sea. Meanwhile, Jagand captures one of the girls and threatens her, but the other women refuse to surrender. They unite against him, overwhelm him, steal his weapon, and even wound him before escaping. Across the island, Johnny manages to outsmart another pursuer by forcing him off a rocky cliff. One by one, the survivors begin gaining the upper hand. Yet the danger is far from over. With enemies still hunting them and precious little time remaining, everyone races toward the ship in a desperate attempt to leave the island before Jogand can recover. Bablu successfully starts the ship, but terror grips him because he has never actually flown one despite his training. Nevertheless, there is no turning back. Johnny swims toward the vessel to help if needed while the girls steal a small boat and head in the same direction. Behind them, Sam and Munshi leap into the water to escape another armed pursuer. Gunfire erupts across the shoreline as bullets rip through the air. Hanging dangerously from the side of the vessel, Johnny returns fire with remarkable accuracy. One perfectly aimed shot strikes their attacker, finally eliminating the last major threat. Soon every survivor reaches the ship and climbs aboard. It appears they have finally won. But just when freedom seems certain, Jogand rises once more and begins firing wildly at the departing vessel. Fortunately, Bablu reacts quickly and pushes the ship away from the island before serious damage can be done. As the shoreline disappears into the distance, the exhausted survivors watch their prison fade behind them. Left alone on the island, Jogand can do nothing but watch as his victims escape. After enduring a plane crash, pirates, betrayal, gunfights, and endless danger, the group finally secures their freedom, bringing their extraordinary survival story to a dramatic and satisfying end.